Well, that was a lie. But anyway, Pirate Yakuza was a bad game, yada yada, you know the drill, it sucks. However, I can't stop thinking what it could have been, and today we'll be exploring that idea. So hello, welcome. Today we'll be looking at my idea, what Pirate Yakuza could have been, and without further ado, let's begin. So first and foremost, this will be a niche type of thing, because that's gonna be a lot more interesting and give me a lot more freedom to do things. And it is what I wish Pirate Yakuza was. So, what's the setting? In 16th century Japan, specifically sometime after 1543, maybe 10 years or so. Why after 1543? Because it was when the Portuguese introduced their matchlock guns to the Japanese, which came to be known as the Tanegashima, and I'd like to use those in my story. And also obviously this is gonna have pirates, Japanese pirates or the Kaizoku or Sea Lords. To make things clear, I am talking about the Kaizoku, not the Woko. The difference from what I understand between them is that the Woko raided the coastlines of China and Korea, though the early Woko did also raid the Japanese as well, but in the 16th century, the later Woko raided mostly China and Korea, and the word Kaizoku just means pirate in Japanese, and is referred to the local Japanese pirates, I think. This is a very simple down comparison, there's a lot more stuff to it, but the Kaizoku, or at least the Murakami Kaizoku, which are the most well-known pirates in Japan, I think, also prefer to call themselves the Sea Lords. So that's why I'm using that term as well. So correct me if I'm wrong about anything here. But yeah, basically there's gonna be some pirates in Japan. I'm planning this to take place around Osumi Islands, having the Tanegashima Island be the main area because it was what the matchlock gun was named after. And of course the sea, and probably some other areas also. So there's the basic idea for the setting. I'm not gonna go any deeper than that for now. Instead, let's focus on the characters and what they're gonna be and their design. Before that, I'm gonna tell you where I got the information from and some other stuff. The pirate stuff I got from the Obscure History of the Japanese Sea Lords by PBS Origins and also Wikipedia. Medieval Japanese clothing information I got from The World of the Common People in Medieval Japan, which is a blog that talks about medieval Japanese clothing and some other stuff. It is in Japanese, but you can use Google Translate just fine. Also, Ghost of Tsushima. Thank God for it existing. Specifically the concept art, which you will see I was heavily inspired by, and also Kansan and Wikipedia. So check those out if you're interested. I'll leave a link for some of this stuff in the description. But anyway, let's start with the characters. Can you guess who the main character will be? I bet you won't, but it's Majima. I couldn't think of a joke for this, I'm sorry. Anyway, Majima, before I started with him, I tested out some brushes because I'm like a brush hoarder and I still don't know which one to use. So yeah, oh, and by the way, Majima and everyone else all gonna have probably different names. I don't know what they'll be yet because I suck at choosing names, so I'm just going by their default names. But yeah, Majima. I started out with some rough designs, which I wasn't happy with at all, and I tried again, but nothing felt right, and I was so upset about it. I didn't want to draw, I didn't want to be here, I wanted to quit, I wanted to just jump out of my window. I was like, am I going to have to cancel this video because I can't do this, but I can't make the next video in time. It's too late to quit, and so I was just delete my fucking channel. But thankfully, the next day, I just drew this thing up, and I was like, awesome. All hope isn't lost yet. I drew him with 2 eyes because I forgot he had 1 eye. But I guess this is the Majima before he lost his eye. Ooh. But anyway, why don't we talk about Majima's design? I was thinking of him how to be like half naked, because he is half naked. So I thought for him to like have one arm in a arm sleeve. So basically very similar to Ryuzu's design from Ghost of Tsushima, except he's naked underneath. And then I was like, Eureka! And saw that I could put Majima's snake tattoo similarly on the sleeve and also have like snake skin armor on it. So that's cool. Moving on to how his eye patch looks. I took his eye patch design from Ghost of Tsushima, kind of like a headband eye patch. I was going to do more designs, but I like the headband eye patch, so I decided to keep it. I did the other designs from Kensan and also Kensan, just to see how it looks. By the way, in Kensan Edition, Majima's eye patch is made of a katana tsupa, which honestly is really cool and creative. Anyway, I drew some more faces and also did some designs for a mask from Majima's tattoo, which Gaiden did it first, but I argue that I did it cooler. But yeah, I did more of a detailed design for the sleeve, and god, what a pain in the ass it was figure out how the fucking snake skin armor would look like, and it still doesn't look really right. I just for some reason decided to do it in an awkward angle, so also I couldn't really design how the snake design will look like. Yeah, I could do it properly by like, I don't know, flattening it out and then drawing design on it, but I wasn't bothered enough to do that. Next, I decided to do a big boy drawing of Majima, and also choose what color his clothes will be. At first, I went with a dark blue and a dark gray and a yellow, but I wasn't really feeling it, and also I wasn't really a fan of how it came out. But the next day, I saw concept art for a character from Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, wow, I really like these colors, so I decided to take them. They're mine. I tried out the colors on a little drawing, and I put the colors on the big drawing, and yeah, I like those colors, so those are his colors now. But hey, let's talk about what and who Majima's in the story. I only got basic idea of it, so not anything really detailed at all. So he was a great archer until he got backstabbed and his eye taken out by a friend. I don't know who the friend will be yet, but anyway, he was left out to die, but someone found him and saved him. I also don't know who that guy will be yet. Anyway, he survived and just gave up his bow because why am I alive? I don't know. And just spent his days drinking and gambling. But then he meets some people and gets into the sea life to go search for something or to defeat someone. I don't know yet. I don't know exactly how the story is gonna be at all, but I'm thinking it to be similar to the story of Flow. Like on a boat, picking up people to work together towards something. Will it be a search for a legendary treasure or to take down an enemy? I don't know yet, but it's probably gonna be both. To continue, let's talk about the weapons he'll be using. I didn't really make any detailed specific designs for them, I just wanted to draw them out. So his main weapon is the wakizashi. It's usually the smaller sword worn with the katana and a basically shorter version of the katana. And also he'll have a tanto somewhere hidden in his sleeve. What's the difference between the wakizashi and tanto? Well, the wakizashi is about 30 to 60 centimeters in length, whereas the tanto is smaller, about 15 or 30 centimeters in length. Also, the tanto was made somewhere in the Heian period, whereas the wakizashi was made later in the Muromachi period. There are other differences between them, but I won't go into that. So he'll be using this shorter weapons because he's a weirdo, and because he got backstabbed by his friend who was like, you were so focused on the bow that you didn't see me right under your nose. Does that make 100% sense? I don't know, but yeah. Also decided that the Kusarigama in here. Majima used this in Kensan, and I bought it back here because I thought it was cool, and maybe you could use it to climb something, I don't know. And finally, the Tanegashima. So, he's too afraid to pick the bow back up, but still wants something similar to that, so why not try out a gun? And that's how he'll use the gun. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Majima's weapons and what I have to say about him, so why don't we move on to the other characters? Let's start with Kiryu. He looks pretty much the same from Ishin, except with a different outfit, and instead of his little bun, he's got a top knot. I really liked his design from Ishin, so I kept it similar. I think Yoroma is the handsomest character in the Yakuza series, even when his hair doesn't really make any sense. But anyway, let's talk about how he met Majima. So, one day he decided to go hunt a bear by himself because his friends made fun of him or something. Obviously, he gonna kill the bear by himself and got hurt instead. But thankfully, Majima saw what was happening and went to help him out. So he killed the bear with his super duper awesome archery skills, and then hit Kiryu's head and called him a dumbass for trying to hunt a bear all by himself. Majima left before Kiryu could say thanks, but many years later, Kiryu hears a rumor saying that a great and famous archer is in town. He asks where he is and goes after him. But the part that Kiryu didn't hear was that the great archer is washed up drunk now. He goes into the Izakaya Majima's inn, only to find him drunk, loud, and obnoxious. Kiryu gets mad because the person he looked up to and finally found was just a washed up drunk. And on top of that, Majima doesn't seem to remember him. So he throws him out and fights him. Majima wins and tells Kiryu to mind his own business and fucks off. From there on, Kiryu kept an eye on Majima because, hey, he still won that fight, so he still got something in him. And and later he also joins Majima in his sea venture. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Kiryu. Next up, Nishiki. Let's go! So he's not really going to be a part of the story as much as the other characters that I'll draw, but he'll still have a significant role. So he's from a wealthier samurai family, same as Kiryu, and they're like brothers and hang out a lot. Yay! Well, until the day that Majima decides to leave for the sea. When the boat is leaving the shore, suddenly Kiryu jumps on the boat. And Nishiki's like, what the hell, man? And, later in the story, they may fight. Maybe there's some betrayal. I don't know. You played Yakuza 1. You know what's gonna happen. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Nishiki. I drew him looking happy and cocky. Because I just want him to be happy. Can you guess who's gonna be next? It's my boy Seichima. So before I get into this story, Seichima, I just want to rant about Seichima in the Yakuza series. Hey, remember when Seichima was cool and interesting? So, hey, remember Yakuza 4? Not to say everything about Seichima was perfect in Yakuza 4, rubber, but he was more interesting and had a lot more to him than he did in Yakuza 5. And also, I don't like what they did to his character and hair in Yakuza 5. Like, wouldn't it be so interesting to see how he, integrates back into society and how he lives after being in prison for, half of his life? But no, he goes back into prison again and also made him permanently bald. How could they do that? Also, I just don't like his outfit very much. Like, why is he still wearing the same outfit from when he fucking escaped prison? Like, give my man his hair back and a new outfit. Oh, wait, fuck, go back. I mean, well, at least in, like, Yakuza 5, he was something. But now, and for the past, like, 10 years, he's been practically nothing. Some might say even worse than nothing. But anyway, basically, I want Saichima to be an actual character again. So, Saichima. I'd say all of the characters that I draw, I took something from their Asian designs, or they're similar, but not with Saichima, because I think his Asian design looks stupid. It's mostly the ripped sleeves. Like, listen, all his character design reminds me is that one episode of Gintama where Katsura goes to jail, and there's some dudes rip sleeves, and Katsura points out, like, why would you do that? That's stupid. And that's all I can think of when I see fucking Nakakura formation. Anyways, so I was thinking of him to have like thicker layer clothes, because maybe he lives somewhere up in the mountains in a colder climate. And he also has a little bird sidekick. Who is this birdie? Well, he or she is an Eurasian goshawk. Goshawk? I don't know how to say that. But yeah, I just wanted to give him a bird. I thought it would be cool. So, how's Saichima involved in the story? I was thinking for him to be some sort of blacksmith that the gang went looking for, and when they first meet, the birdie snatches Majima's head off. And sometime later, Saichima joins them on their journey. But yeah, I wish I had more to say about him, but I don't right now, sorry. But yeah, that's Saichima in the story. So yeah, hey, why don't we move on to some original characters? Ooh. I don't have names for them yet, so I'm just gonna pick something, a random name for them to make things easier. So first, we got Karasu, which means crow in Japanese. Creative, I know. So, what's she like? What's her story? She is dressed up as a man and mostly spends her days gambling and in the red lights district because she likes it, and it's a good place to get information, I think. But yeah, she is also the one who introduces the sea life to Majima. How does that happen? Well, one day Majima wins a mahjong tournament and gets a special ring. But Majima doesn't know that it's special, but she knows it, so she steals it from Majima, and Majima's like, what the hell? And goes after her, and she goes up to her roof, and they have a little fight, a little scuffle up there, and then they accidentally drop the ring, and it falls on the head of a child, who picks it up and runs away with it. And she's like, well, great job, dumbass. And Majima's like, me? What? And then she fucks off. And Majima gets interrupted by Kiryu before Majima could go after her. But later, Majima's like, well, now I'm curious on what the hell that was, and goes to search for her. And later finds her in the red light district hanging out with some girls. So he asks, why did she steal the ring? And she's like, well, if you beat me in a fight, maybe I'll tell you. And Majima beats her, and she tells him that the ring is connected to some treasure. And then Majima's like, well, let's team up and go look for it. And she's like, well, alright then. And that's how he gets into the pirate business. And yeah, I like them to have, like, I don't know, a sibling type of relationship where constantly like annoying each other, fighting. I just think that's a fun dynamic. But yeah, that's her character. But I'm not done yet. I still got one more. So The next character, I'm gonna call her Hato, which means dove or pigeon in Japanese. So who is she? How does she get involved with the story? So the gang decides to kidnap or rescue a princess during her wedding for some reason. I don't know what the reason is yet, but I'll figure it out someday. But from there on out, she joined the king. And maybe her and a curse will fall in love. I don't know. Ooh. Listen, I had another story like this where a knight who was a woman rescues a princess on her wedding because her kingdom got attacked. And I'm just putting this in here. Alright.
It's my fanfiction. Bye.
So yeah, but that's it for now. These character designs or stories aren't set in stone. I'll probably add more stuff to them and more characters in the future, hopefully. But yeah, sorry, this is all I got for now. But wait, there's more! Finally, I wanted to do some big, cover for it. And I'm not really happy with it at all. I'm not happy with a lot of the stuff in here, but as long as it gets the idea across, I guess it's fine. But I did decide for a name, and that name is Ryujinga Gotoku, which just means like a Ryujin. And a Ryujin is a dragon king or a sea god. He's also a lord of the sea and the snakes, which I definitely planned that. I definitely didn't get lucky. But yeah, thank you for listening me ramble about my fan fiction, and I'm so sorry this video is such a train wreck. I have a lot more to say and a lot more ideas, and I just wanted this to be so much more. But I'm just so tired of everything. Some personal stuff happened, and also the drawing took a lot longer than I thought. But I still definitely want to do more stuff with this in the future, but it's not probably going to happen anytime soon. I'm also just so out of shape. I need to go draw some cubes and circles and just take my time to practice and study art. I haven't just done a study properly in so long, and I was like, just don't like the way I draw, so I just want to change. And also I need to organize everything so badly. Anyway, if you have your own ideas for what part Yakuza could have been, feel free to share that in the comments. This is the time for that now, so go ahead. Also, all the drawings will be on my Twitter, so go check them out if you want. The next video is going to be my thoughts on Kiwami Free on the 14th, so yeah, I was gonna put this in this video, but I want to get this out as soon as possible. I will probably make that video beforehand so I can be done with this for a while and go take my time to play Ghost of Yote. I haven't generally looked forward to playing a brand new game, I think like ever, so I hope it will be very good. I really like Ghost of Tsushima. It is one of my favorite games of all time, so I hope this will be good too. I hoped I would be finished with this before the game came out, but whoopsie. I'm a bit sad about this, but it is what it is, I guess. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Goodbye!